So the second part of 2-4 notes is the law of syllogism. It's another kind of deductive reasoning. And for that we have a couple of properties, one of them being that you should have two if-then statements. And the second is that the conclusion of one statement is the hypothesis of the other. And so that conclusion and the hypothesis are actually kind of a link between the two statements. And we actually have that here. We have we have two if-then statements. We have if you get a job, then you will earn money, and if you earn money, then you will buy a car. So we have that part, and then we also have the conclusion of one and the hypothesis of the other is the hypothesis of the other. And then to make our conclusion, we use the parts that they don't have in common. That you will earn money is the link between the two. Our conclusion would then be if you get a job, then you will buy a car. So that would be considered a valid conclusion or a valid argument using the law of syllogism if you have two if-thens and the hypothesis of one and the conclusion of the other are the same. So we have an example. It says to determine which statement follows logically from the given statements. And we have two if-thens. If you like musicals, then you enjoy theater productions. If you are an actor, then you enjoy theater productions. So we have the two if-then statements that we need for a syllogism, but we don't have the conclusion of one being the hypothesis of the other. The conclusion of the first one is also the conclusion of the second one. So it doesn't fit the criteria for the law of syllogism. It cannot be a valid argument. And so we say there's no conclusion. It's not valid. Okay, let's take a look at example 5. It says draw a conclusion from the given statements, if possible. Then state whether the conclusion was drawn using the law of detachment or the law of syllogism. If no valid conclusion can be drawn, write no valid conclusion and explain your reasoning. So my given statement is that if you are 16 years old, then you can apply for a driver's license. And Nate is 16 years old. So this looks like the law of detachment because we have only one if-then, and we have a second statement that's not an if-then. Okay. That second statement also restates the hypothesis. The hypothesis is you're 16 years old, and we know that Nate's 16 years old, so we can form a conclusion that says Nate can apply for a driver's license.